The story of Teofilo Cubillas, the Peruvian Pelé. Teofilo Cubillas, better known as El Nene, was born in Lima, Peru on March 8, 1949. Growing up in Lima wasn't the easiest of things. With daily day-to-day distractions, El Nene's favorite pastime was football, thanks to his elementary school teacher who brought out a football so the kids could play during recess. Cubillas played for a couple of local clubs, but when he turned 16 years old, he was offered a roster spot with Alianza Lima. Cubillas made his professional debut for Alianza Lima in 1966 and finished that season as a top scorer of the Peruvian Primera División with 19 goals. He was not even a striker, but he was an attacking midfielder. He was also not big in physical stature, but he was an intelligent player. The legend of El Nene grew when he helped Peru qualify for their first ever World Cup in Mexico in 1970. A couple of days prior to Peru's World Cup kickoff, the country was mourning the loss of over 70,000 people due to a horrific earthquake.
The Peruvian government called for 8 days of national mourning for the 50,000 people believed to have perished.
In an era where electronic communication was still largely unheard of, no one in the Peruvian squad was certain of the safety of their loved ones. After an agonizing period of contemplating, they decided to go ahead with the tournament. They wanted to put a smile on a country going through disaster. With their minds understandably somewhere else, Peru took the pitch in León, Mexico for their opener against Bulgaria. Bulgaria was up 2-0 inside the first 50 minutes, but in the span of 5 minutes, Peru equalized the match. El Nene received the ball outside the box and created an individual masterpiece, giving Peru a comeback for the ages. The beyond belief comeback played its part in uplifting the spirits of a nation damaged by the horrors of an earthquake. El Nene would score a brace against Morocco in a 3-0 win, but a loss in their final match against West Germany set them up with a clash against a great Brazilian team in the quarterfinals. Brazil ended Peru's tournament after defeating them 4-2. Peru ended their World Cup dream on a disappointing note, but they held their heads high, giving their blood, sweat, and tears for their country while also giving them hope for better days. El Nene was praised for scoring a goal in every match. He was awarded the bronze goal-scoring ball and also received the Best Young Player award. Teofilo Cubillas also received praise from one of the greatest players ever, Pelé. Pelé stated this: "Don't worry, I already have a successor. He is Teofilo Cubillas." Cubillas was also named South American Player of the Year in 1972, and 12 months later he joined Basel in Switzerland for 97,000. After just 6 months, he joined Porto for more than double the fee. His best was still to come. Having failed to qualify for the 1974 World Cup, Peru and Cubillas corrected their failure by winning the 1975 Copa America, only the second title in their history. Cubillas only scored once in the semi-final first leg against a star-studded Brazil squad, but was instrumental in Peru's playoff final win against Colombia. Unsurprisingly, Cubillas was named player of the tournament. Over the course of 3 years at Porto, El Nene scored 65 goals in 108 matches. Porto reached their peaking point in El Nene's final season, winning the Portuguese Cup in 1977. Cubillas would return home for the second part of the 1977 season with Alianza Lima. In the 1978 World Cup, Peru easily picked apart all their opponents in the first round aside from Netherlands. El Nene had 5 goals in 3 matches and had led Peru into a deep World Cup run. In the second round of the World Cup, Peru's performances turned heads as they lost to Poland and Brazil, and in their final match they faced Argentina, the host of the tournament, who needed to win by 4 goals in order to play in the final. And famously, Peru lost to Argentina 6-0, prompting allegations of bribery by the Brazilians, who missed out on a place in the final to the host nation because of a goal differential margin. To this day, many conspiracy theories say that the Argentina dictator paid off the Peru national team to let themselves lose, but nothing is confirmed. Over the next 2 seasons, El Nene won back-to-back titles in Peru. From there, he had stints in the United States and played for several Florida clubs. His final game for Peru had been in 1982. After 26 goals in a 14-year international career, 10 of which came at the World Cup, and he had hung up his boots in 1985. That retirement was brief after he answered the desperate call of Alianza Lima in 1987, following a tragic plane crash that killed 44 people out of 45 on board. The only survivor was the pilot.
Chicos de 18, 19, 20 años. Es increíble, o sea, todavía no me puedo hacer a la idea de lo que ha sucedido.
El Nene wanted the club he loved most to finish the season, so he came out of retirement to lead them in the last games that remained. The club had only 7 players who weren't on the plane crash because of injuries. They also called up youth players, and some clubs like Colo Colo lent them 4 players. Teofilo became a true Peruvian hero, leading his squad all the way to the final, but they fell just short of winning. To this day, Teofilo El Nene Cubillas is Peru's most accomplished player ever, winning the Copa America, South American Footballer of the Year, 2 goal-scoring boots at the World Cup, and he's also been ranked among the 100 greatest footballers ever by FIFA. In tragedy and glory, you can count on Teofilo Cubillas.